Please come.
Good evening, sir.
Please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
What's your name?
Sir, my name is Shubham. I was born in Madhubani, Bihar, sir.
Okay. So, Mr. Shubham, good that. Congrats, you have cleared on first attempt. How many mock interviews you have done so far?
8, sir.
8.
Yes, sir.
My God. So, how many you plan to do?
Sir, there is no fixed plan. It depends on my feeling or how much I want to give on that particular day. So I have around 6 more planned, sir, right now.
Okay.
But the booked 6 more booked.
Is it benefiting you?
Sir, I think it gives me confidence. I want to interact with a diverse group of people and have a diverse experience, so I'm not surprised at the main interview.
Okay. So, we'll start. Please tell us something about yourself.
Sir, as you know, my name is Shubham. I was born in Madhubani, Bihar. I've done my schooling from Vidya Vihar Residential School, Purnia, Bihar. In 2021, I graduated from Hansraj College, Delhi University, with an honors degree in computer science. Since then, I have been preparing for UPSC and I want to be an IFS officer.
IFS officer.
Yes.
That is your first preference, IFS.
Yes.
Very good. Now, you are from Bihar. I have many friends from Bihar. And Biharis, according to me, are the most intelligent people in India. And I mean it when I say. But Bihar is backward. Punjabis are hardworking, Punjab is prosperous. Why is it so that every Bihari wants to leave Bihar and go and settle outside? This is his own state. Tell me.
Yes, sir, that dichotomy is real. Sir, there are many reasons for a lot of brain drain from Bihar. First has been the lack of opportunities, both in terms of
The
education.
lack of opportunities, Mr. Shubham, is in so many states of India. Punjab also has lack of opportunities.
Yes, sir, from
So
there.
I
also-
don't buy this argument. Tell me something else.
Sir, in terms of the perception that has been created of Bihar, that there is jungle Raj, there is lack of development, or the story that the Bihar sells to the world is not favorable for the many residents
For
to settle.
local people, they know the truth, no?
Yes, sir, there are some truth to that story as well, sir. But at the same time,
Okay, if there is a truth, who will correct it? Somebody, I will go from Punjab to correct it, or you will go?
no, sir, the onus lies on the people of the state, both government and the citizens, sir.
Yes. So, but so.
Yes,
Anyway,
the
what
improvement
next?
have been there, sir.
What next?
Sir,
Any other reason you have?
So apart from the lack of economic growth, there is in the society also there is lack of entrepreneurship culture, or what we say the My Baap Sarkar, where
Do you know that Bihar was once the best administered states of India in the 50s?
so I'm not aware of that era, sir.
Well, let us move on to something else. You read books. Which is the last book you read?
So it was Chip War by Chris Miller. It was about semiconductors and the current geopolitics over it.
It's all okay. It's all about on the technical subjects you were fond of reading books.
No, sir. As I mentioned in the interest section, books and articles on geopolitics, sir.
Okay. Tell me, India's defense equipment exports. What equipment and to which countries we are exporting?
Sir, last year we exported 13,000 worth of export, but it was mainly spare parts to other countries. In terms of high level equipments, we have a export agreement with Philippines for BrahMos. Recently, we had an export to Armenia for Pinaka multi-barrel launchers. That's all I can remember, sir.
Please tell me the internal security challenges to India.
Sir, in my view, there are three internal security challenges. First is the terrorism, both inside India and that's supported by other countries. Sir, second in terms of
Terrorists where?
terrorists in India, sir.
From where? Which location in India? India is a big country.
Yes, sir, but specifically all over the country because terrorist activities can happen everywhere. So there is no particular specific region of the country. So second, in terms of insurgency and militancy, particularly in the Red Corridor, Jammu and Kashmir and Northeast India.
Where in the northeast? Which state in the northeast?
So recently we saw some incursions, insurgency activities in Nagaland and Manipur. So
When? Who's doing insurgency in Manipur? Just name the group, please.
So in Manipur there are some Maitai groups, but I'm not sure about the name. In Nagaland,
Recently, if at all there was some remnants, an agreement was signed with the government. It was in the papers. There is no insurgency there, and in Nagaland also there is no insurgency. There is ceasefire agreement with the central government of NSC and IM.
yes, sir, there is ceasefire agreements, but there are various splinter groups which who keep.
Where in Nagaland?
Yes, sir, in Nagaland,
No,
Manipur.
no.
Yes, sir. There, as per my knowledge, sir, I might be wrong, sir.
Okay. Where else in the northeast?
Sir, in Assam also we saw the Ulfa insurgent demands, but they have been neutralized to an extent, sir.
Okay.
But
So
the
what
danger-
else is the security challenge? Okay.
Okay, these two have been, sir. So third, in terms of our whole society culture in which extremism can rise from the inside the country in terms of polarization, sir. So we have also have to deal with that.
Okay. Thank you.
Shubham, you studied computer science, BSc.
Yes, sir.
You don't want to pursue it further, MSc?
Sir, if I don't qualify for this examination, I might pursue in the future, sir.
But what are your learnings from the BSc, computer science? What did you learn?
Sir, as per the syllabus, we learned various programming languages such as C++, Java. We also learned app development through Android and some data structures, sir.
And how would you translate these learnings to the civil service?
Sir, as we have recently seen the push of central government to digital India and e-governance, I think, sir, these all the technologies and the computer languages that I have read can be applied in the administration for improving the services that we
When
do.
you are in the district as an STM, your first position will be as STM. Where is the scope of applying this learning?
Sir, in terms of data collection and data management, we can do data analytics, sir, to
No,
bring on
in
the pattern
in
of.
the subdivision, even in the district, where is the scope for collecting data that is done at a state level?
Yes, sir, but granular data are more helpful for the district administration, sir.
So if you are a district magistrate in Bihar, what would you do
Sir,
in terms of your learnings?
Sir, I would implement all the Digital India or e-governance program efficiently. I will also train all the workers of my district
You
administration.
mentioned Digital India programs. What are these programs?
Sir, Digital India program was launched in 2015, which had many components such as digital infrastructure through BharatNet, through data centers. It also had e-governance services such as grievance redressal, sir.
What do you understand by e-governance?
Sir, according to my understanding, e-governance is the use of ICT technology in governance. So ICT technology is information communication and technologies.
For what purpose?
So there can be many purposes of using technology in governance. First can be for providing basic services. Second can be connecting with the people. Third can be grievance redressal and many other things, sir.
One of the objectives of e-governance was to reduce the interface of the people with the government.
Yes, sir.
Has that been achieved? Reducing the interface, DBT transfers.
So,
There is no middleman now.
Sir, relative to what was before Digital India, the interface has been reduced, but it can be reduced further so that there are more real-time communications, sir.
Bihar, like any other state, suffers from corruption.
Yes, sir.
And what are the other areas of e-governance which will impact corruption?
Sir, various technology in e-governance we can use to curb corruption.
No, be
Such,
specific, tell me.
such as blockchain technology, where we can have all the transaction traced on the common ledger, so we have all the records of the transaction. So second, we can have a public interface through app or website where people can complain with records of corruption like we have in Punjab, sir. So third, we can have the management information system where all the complaints are resolved sequentially, sir.
These are already being done, except blockchain probably where more needs to be done. But otherwise, whatever you're saying is being done already.
So if it is being done, I would try to improve it or make it more efficient, sir.
Okay. Now, do you understand startups?
Yes.
How many startups are there in India?
So I don't have exact numbers.
I'm telling you around 80,000 plus. And how many unicorns?
Sir, again, I'm not sure. So
Okay. Now, Bihar, is it famous for some startups? Are there startups in Bihar?
there are, sir, but there are not many famous startups located in Bihar, headquartered in Bihar.
Why is that? I'll tell you this because the ecosystem doesn't permit a person to start businesses there. What do you understand by an supposing you were tasked to set up an ecosystem in Bihar to attract startups and entrepreneurs, what would you do?
Sir, first would be infrastructure support through land, through electricity connection, etc. So second would be ease of doing business through regulations and streamlining them. So third would be worker management and scaling them, providing them workers. So fourth would be funding through banks and other VC fundings. So fifth will be maintaining rule of law because rule of law attracts businessmen in a particular state, sir.
Very good. You have an interest in cricket.
Yes, sir.
You know the present cricket board, the selection board, who heads it?
Sir, BCCS selection board.
Yes,
Sir Chetan Sharma.
Chetan Sharma, and there are other 3-4 members.
Yes.
None of whom have played more than 2 or 3 tests. Now this is a low profile test board,
Yes, sir.
selection board, and there are high profile players
Yes, sir.
like Rohit Sharma, like Kohli and others. Do you think the players will listen to such a low profile board?
Sir, I don't have information about their dynamics, but in my view, sir, there is a flaw in selection system where I would like to have reform in that, in which lot of recently retired cricketers should be made selectors, such as we have seen in England, sir, where James Taylor, etc., who recently retired were selectors, who know how the modern game has turned, so they can select players more efficiently. But the current system of South zonal quota is doing more harm than good,
Is
sir.
doing more harm than. My last question. What are the prospects of medium-term prospects of growth in the Indian economy? This year the projections are around 7%, 6.8% growth, or maybe 7%. What are the projections
Sir,
for
as
next
per-
year?
Sir, next year they are range between 6 to 6.5 by various agency. But in the medium term, as going by the Morgan Stanley report, we are placed above the global average, and we will reach around $10,000 economy by 2047, sir. From the current
$10,000
Yes, sir. From the current $2,000 economy, sir, in terms of per capita income.
in terms of per capita income. There is also talk of India becoming a $5 trillion economy
Yes, sir.
in the next 3 years.
Yes, sir.
What kind of growth is required to reach this figure?
So in terms of GDP growth, I guess there would be around 7 to 7.5% GDP growth. We also have to improve the consumer demand because 55% of our GDP is based on the consumer demand. At the same time, we have to negate our exports disadvantage, where exports there is a negative net export. So we have to improve on that, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Shubham,
Yes.
I'm looking at your DAF and it's so impressive.
Thank
You
you, sir.
have won so many quiz competitions, and quizzing is your hobby, your main interest. you have also been secretary, the president of the Quizzing Society of Hansraj.
Yes, sir.
So, are you prepared to answer just a few questions which pertain to international relations
I would
because
try,
of
sir.
your interest in the foreign service?
Yes, I would try, sir.
Simple questions. Who is the Secretary General of NATO?
So, as per my knowledge, Jelen Sternberg, Jelen Sternberg, I'm not sure about the pronunciation.
You got it vaguely, but it is not the correct name. Now, who's the Army Chief of Pakistan?
Sir, General Asim Munir.
Good. Who's the President of Iran?
Sir, I know the last name Raisi, Muhammad Raisi.
It is President Raisi. Now, what is the full form of BIMSTEC?
Sir, Bay of Bengal, intersectoral. So I'm not
No,
sure, sir.
wrong. Now, can you tell me who have been the PMs of India, the Prime Ministers of India from 1947?
Okay, sir, I'll try, sir. Sir, first Prime Minister, Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. Second, Lal Bahadur Shastri. I'm not counting, sir, acting Prime Minister, sir.
Correct, yes.
Sir, third, Indira Gandhi. Then Chaudhary, Morarji Desai. Then Charan Singh. Then again Indira Gandhi. Then Rajiv Gandhi. Then VP Singh. Then after that, Inder Kumar Gujral. VP Singh till 1992.
So you have not scored very high on the quiz.
Yes,
Shubham, but you're very good, yes. Now tell me, what is the significance of the Abraham Accords?
Sir, Abraham Accords are the peace accords between UAE, Israel, Egypt, and other nations.
No, Egypt was not. Egypt had signed another accord with Israel in 79. Do you remember the name of that accord? As a quiz master.
Sorry, sir, no.
It was the Camp David Accord.
Camp-
But the Abraham Accords were between, as you said, Israel
UAE,
and one more country.
sir, Morocco, but
Bahrain. Now, why did Egypt and Bahrain, in your understanding, why did they sign this agreement with Israel? What were their compulsions? You're a student of geopolitics. So let me say, what were the geopolitical reasons?
Sir, as per my understanding, they wanted to counter Iran as well as grow their own economic development, sir.
Yes, Iran was the big geopolitical threat to them. Now, in the context of India's neighborhood, what are the geopolitical threats to us?
Sir, the various geopolitical threats are: first is the Chinese transgressions along LAC. Sir, second is instability in our northwest frontier in terms of Pakistan and Afghanistan. Sir, third is the Myanmar junta rule. Sir, fourth, in terms of our relationship with Bangladesh, where they have election this year, and if the opposition party come to the power, they don't have a traditionally good relationship with India. So fifth, in terms of our relationship with Nepal, the current Prime Minister has been seen as pro-China, so we have to manage that. So sixth had been geo-economics challenge in terms of depth of our neighbors like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, sir.
When Sri Lanka went through that economic crisis last year, who was the president of Sri Lanka?
Sir, then Gotabaya Rajapaksa, sir.
And who's the president now?
Sir, Ranil Vikram Singhe.
Okay, good. Now, what is your assessment of the policy that India has followed towards Sri Lanka? What is your opinion, your assessment?
Sir, our policy towards Sri Lanka has been in accordance with neighborhood first policy, where we have tried to help with the economic challenges of Sri Lanka through various line of credits, various fuel exports, as well as through economic developments such as a renewable energy project in Jaffna. At the same time, we have also lobbied with IMF and other organizations such as Paris Club to have debt structuring, which China is trying to avoid. So yes, sir, we have been helpful to them.
Okay. In the context of geopolitics, is the string of pearls a serious threat to India?
So in my view, it is a serious threat because in case of any war on the LAC frontier, the China will try to have a true front attack in terms of maritime and land dispute. So as PLA Navy is the largest navy in the world, so they can encircle India and break our maritime trades. So in that way, it can have a negative impact on India and is a threat.
Which port developed by China in our neighborhood poses the most serious threat to us, the biggest threat? Your opinion?
Sir, I think Gwadar port has more threats.
And is it, according to your understanding, is it also being developed as a military port?
Sir, the records in public do not show that it is a military port, but sir, I think it's a dual use port where in future China can use it as for the military launch pad, sir.
All right. Now you want to join the foreign service. In your opinion, in your understanding, why is it that we have an embassy in Washington and an embassy in Moscow and an embassy in Beijing, but a high commission in Bangladesh? What is the reason for that?
Sir, the nomenclature difference is because of the Commonwealth. So, in countries which are part of the Commonwealth, we have High Commission, and which are not part of the Commonwealth, we have embassies, sir. So, these are just nomenclature differences.
My last question. Why are the GCC countries important for India?
Sir, for three reasons, sir. First is the oil imports. We import around 60% from the GCC countries, except for this year where we have.
From which of the GCC countries do we import oil?
Sir, Saudi Arabia is the number one importer. We also import from UAE, something from Qatar, sir. I'm not sure about Iraq, but after the
Iraq is not a GCC.
Yes, sir.
No.
That's right. So these all countries we import, sir.
Okay. That was the first factor. Then you said three factors.
So second is the economic relationship with GCC. As per my knowledge, is the second largest trading bloc of India. So third, in terms of our diaspora in GCC, we send remittances. We have relationship with there, sir. So these are the three important factors.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Shubham, you are from Madhubani. Tell us something about the Madhubani painting.
Sir, Madhubani painting was developed during the mythical Janak era, where Lord Janak asked the women of the kingdom to paint the walls to welcome Lord Rama at the time of marriage. Since then, it has developed in which a lot of women of the region draw paintings on the wall. These are mainly ritualistic paintings where the themes range from marriages to
How do they go about doing this painting? Tell us something about that.
Sir, although I don't have much knowledge, but according to...
Have you seen a Madhubani painting?
Yes, sir. They are all over the Madhubani, sir.
Okay, but have you noticed any intricate part of that painting?
Sir, they have beautiful borders and most of their images they have big eyes. Most of the deities have big eyes and they have pointed nose, sir.
Okay, all right. Now, you tell me, Nepal is also bordering Bihar.
Yes, sir.
How many districts touches the border with Nepal? Does Madhubani have a border with
Yes,
Nepal?
sir. In my knowledge, 7 districts touch Nepal, sir. But I am not
So
100%.
Madhubani also touches?
Yes, sir. Madhubani is a border district.
Achha. So this Madhubani painting, is it also done in Nepal?
Sir, I am not 100% sure because I never went to Nepal, sir.
Have you heard of the Madhesis?
Yes, sir.
Who are the Madhesis?
Sir, Madhesis are the ethnic group of Nepal who reside along the Tarai region, southern Nepal.
So if Madhubani has a border and the population is moving across, why shouldn't it be also available in Nepal? Same people are there, same culture.
Yes, sir. It can be available in Nepal also, sir. But I don't have concrete information, sir.
All right. Now, you have also some interest in National War Memorial. Recently, there was some controversy regarding our National War Memorial.
Yes, sir.
What is it? Tell us.
So the government shifted the Amar Jawan Jyoti flame from India Gate to the National War Memorial and merged both the flames, sir.
Okay. And what is your view?
Sir, I don't see any issue with that. I do support the government move because it's because it leads to one the benefit of saving
What
the
was the
energy.
need
Sir.
to, we already had a war memorial, names were there. What was the need to shift it, What was the need?
So there are many war memorials, but these are in silos, whereas National War Memorial have the name of all the soldiers from all the wars we have had. So like India Gate only had First World War soldiers, Indian soldiers. So they have by merging both the flames, the government tried to show commemorate all the soldiers instead of doing it in silos.
Okay, last question I'll ask you. You also have interest in cricket tactics.
Yes.
Now tell me, India always loses the T20 big matches like World Cup.
Yes, sir.
What tactical changes would you bring about so that India performs better?
Sir, first I would do away with the superstar culture and the all format players such as Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. Their records in the T20 have not been good. So I would bring more specialists in terms of specialist T20 bowlers, specialist opening batsmen, specialist all-rounders who are lacking in the current team. So third, I would have more number of Indian players going to the other leagues to play the matches so that we can have diverse experiences, which is not allowed right now, sir. These three changes I would make, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shubham. Our discussion with you is over. Kindly wait outside for a few minutes. We'll call you for a feedback.
Thank you, sir.